Hey Chris, good talking to you yesterday. I'd like to do site audits through video. It gives a nice visual overview. Just makes things a lot cleaner than trying to type it all out or just send still images. So just wanted to say hey, introduce myself a little bit, put up more live face and a voice with the name versus just some anonymous Facebook profile. I'm going to keep this as short and sweet as possible, get to the point, go over the main points, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, we're going to go over your site here and check out some of the main issues, and I'll give you some advice and some pointers and go from there. You have a really nice site visually. That's not an issue at all. Should convert if you do send visitors there pretty well. But a big part of the thing is the way it's structured. You have a lot of content, a lot of images, and the way it's set up in the background, you're getting really bad page load speed, which is a big issue these days. We'll go straight to the source. This is Google's own tool. Straight from the horse's mouth, as it is kind of a really, and this isn't meant as a personal attack, of course, but just throwing it out there, it's kind of a really bad score as far as page load speed, and that'll kill you in the rankings. Google is primarily a mobile first index now, which means they know more than half people are searching on their mobile phones these days, so they reward and index sites accordingly and rank sites accordingly. This goes over the main points of what they're finding wrong with it in the background. Basically, it boils down to there's just some plugins and some geek stuff in the background of sites you can tweak in the code that streamlines your site, makes it load a lot faster, put everything in one file versus a ton for them to read. It's a really big deal, causes a really big problem. You won't really rank until your page load speed is fixed, but it's a really fairly easy, quick, cheap or free fix to do that. We're going to go to a secondary site here. Again, page load speed. Maximum page load time should be 2 seconds or less, max. So you're at 5 here. And again, it's caching problems, JavaScript, it's background CSS. I don't want to get too geeky. But basically all your content images need to be compressed and optimized so they load quicker. It's causing a big load time on your site, which is a problem. Just a third site to round it out. This is showing 9-second load time. And I know when I load it manually, it loads super slow for me too, both on my phone and on my desktop. So again, pretty easy fix, but huge deal. You're really swimming upstream until that gets fixed. Something else I noticed was looking up your whois. For some reason, I'm not sure why, but it's showing as your IP is in Singapore. That might not be a huge deal, but especially with working with local specific sites, you want to find a host that's at least in the same, let's just showing Australia-based name server, but still the IP is showing Singapore. You want that to be at least somewhere in Australia, closer to Sydney. You can find a good host, better, but I have a good recommendation for hosting if you need a switch. But you definitely want to get that sorted. I would make your whois information public versus private, and set that to your name, address, and phone number for your business, your GMB listing, so it matches up when they crawl that. Something else, keyword density, doing pretty well. I would suggest tweaking these. You don't want anything over 2% in my experience, otherwise you'll start getting hit with keyword stuffing, spam penalties. So water damage, I just go in there, use a similar but different key, maybe water removal or water mitigation, flood damage issues, things like that. That way you rank for more related keywords, and you're also getting any specific keyword under that threshold, so you're not getting nicked for it. Let's see what else. Mobile friendly, it comes up as mobile friendly, but there are some issues. And I looked at this. This is Google's own checker here again. And I looked at it on my phone as well directly. It comes up pretty nice, but again, you've got a page load time issue, and then you've got, I know this is a click to call button here, but I would suggest, just testing it, I would suggest changing the color to green and seeing if you get more call throughs and adding more of a different call to action, maybe speak with a specialist, call now. But again, bring up a basic example theme that I keep on hand. A lot of people are used to this call now green button at the bottom, at the footer or somewhere. Just something to think about. Let's see what else. Again, Google's own tool. It's good. Whoever was, either you or whoever was doing your SEO, at least knew about schema markup, which is a big deal. Most people don't, or at least they, and it's a huge leg up when you implement a property. only a couple errors. They were for your reviews that were marked up, which I found in your background code here. We'll go over schema here real quick. Let's see, where was that? Reviews. You got reviews in here somewhere. They were being marked up. Just had some minor errors to fix so they can be read properly. And the one tip, I couldn't really tell where your reviews were from. If they were from your GMB listing or somewhere else, just for future use. It's good to mark up your reviews with schema code. It's great for ranking factors, but make sure they're only from your Google My Business listing. Any others you can't mark up with schemas against the terms of service, which they just changed recently. Now they'll penalize you for it. Let's see, what else do we have? I noticed you had it set up for the open graph, which is good, and just your main schema, professional service, okay. You got your name, address, phone number, which is your primary information. But the big thing with local is I don't see it here anywhere. There's no geotags or map listings integrated into your schema. Huge deal. Huge deal. It's really easy to add in there. It makes a huge difference. So I would suggest doing that for sure. Did that. Let's see. Went over the page speed, load times. Who is keyword density? I did see a couple of your social profiles linked on your site. This one links out to the mobile specific one for some reason. That might be good for people bringing up on their phones, but I would suggest, this is on my desktop here, I would suggest setting that just to your main Facebook page and letting your mobile phone or whatever device they're on sort that out for itself versus, because this comes up kind of wonky on my desktop. Again, I'd implement your name, address, phone number, your NAP, everywhere that matches up with your Google My Business listing name, address, and phone number. Put that everywhere you can. Facebook profile, posts. You have, put that in your About section on your YouTube channel, which can also be fleshed out more. Same for your any social site, your Pinterest. In here, you put your name, address, phone number, put your citation. Same for, I would put it in here in any posts. In here in your Instagram profile, LinkedIn page, just pop that everywhere with your main links. And as far as YouTube videos, this is good that you have your link in there, but I would put your name, address, phone number in here with a couple of your other primary links, and they give you about, I think it's 5,000 words. I would put as much relevant quality content as they'll allow you in here, along with all these hashtags, which are good too. And I guess, March, it's almost a year. Something like your chat should have a ton of views if it's being marketed right. I guess it's because it's unlisted, or maybe it's just not getting seen because it's not getting traction in the search engines. But that can be easily fixed. But yeah, you definitely want your name, address, phone number, and your primary links in your description there and everywhere else you can. That really ties it together for Google. Speaking of which, I've never seen up here in the States, they're a lot more strict. This would get suspended. The number, the name, that would get suspended up here. I'm glad it's working for you down there, but that might be good for conversions, maybe for people searching for you, but it's going to hurt your NAP, your name, address, phone number consistency when you have it on your site and in your social profiles when you're building citations and things like that. One thing I noticed, your testimonial page is kind of wonky. That would need fixed, and I would put that so it's visible at the top of your site that people can see it straight away. Same for getting your blog up and running, which is a huge part of things, the way I structure things. Let's see what else I have in my notes here for you. I always notice better conversions when you have, I'm not saying don't have any of this, but I would overlay a real, not some stock photo, I would put a real photo of you or one of your staff, pleasant smile, or even better, YouTube videos. They, just add to your, you're driving traffic to your site, you want them to convert as much as possible. Conversions will definitely go up if you implement this. Your FAQ information you had in your footer, I would put all that in a main FAQ page that's visible and linked to up here so people can see it, but also so that Google can read it fully without the drop downs to make it visible. I would do the same thing for a testimonial page. That's a social proof issue for conversions, and a contact about us page up here where people can see it. And you have a great guarantee. I would put that where people can see it first and foremost as well, along with the privacy policy and terms of service page. Another biggie that I found that helps both conversions, but mainly for rankings, is you want to add a resource page with links to relevant, but of course not competing authority sites. Your IIRC page, anything relevant to your locality or industry. Just make sure you set links to open in a new window. There's a lot you can do with optimizing your images. I could tweak your logo for you, or you could re-upload it. Google, that's the first thing Google reads when they hit your site. You can optimize the tags and some things, and geotag in the background makes a big difference. We went over the click to call for your mobile, but I would also make sure wherever you have that listed on your site, a lot of people still look on their desktop. It's good to have that clickable, so it pops up whatever call service they use for their desktop and for email service. You want your name, address, phone number in the footer with the proper schema markup. Down here, this is how Google matches your site up with your brand entity and your Google My Business listing. You want that name, address, phone number properly put in your footer, versus how it's structured here right now. And retargeting. That's basically those ads. Somebody hits your site. A lot of people aren't going to convert right away. That's just a pixel you put in there. So you see those ads that follow you around Facebook and Google. So you just get more exposure. You don't lose those clients just because they didn't buy in the first run. Just get more business that way for sure. And it's fairly easy and cheap to set up and run too. I also noted, for whatever reason, sometimes this gets tripped in a spam filter. I've had this happen to multiple accounts. It's just that there's a form I submit. Usually they turn it back on. They look at the account, realize it was caught in a spam filter by accident, and it's a legitimate account. We'll turn it back on same day or next day. So I can do that for you, or just send you the link if you'd like. You definitely want to keep Twitter going. Again, put your name, address, phone number in tweets and in your main profile section with your main links. And a big part of what I do, I've been doing for years, is when it comes back to getting your blog active again. And you push out blog posts. I set up a syndication network, pushes it out to a couple dozen sites, little excerpts, links back to your site. Google loves this. The way I structure it builds some automatic quality backlinks that are good according to the terms of service. Helps expose you to more clients in more areas, and it's just, once I set it up, it's autopilot. Works really, really well. And something huge that's really dragging your site, or any site, down, things that Google's able to index. You don't want what I would call junk irrelevant links. You don't want category pages or privacy policy pages indexed. Those are just empty junk pages in them, and that'll drag your rankings down big time. Again, stuff like this. These plugin pages here, no good. You don't want those indexed. And all this stuff here, these are pages that you don't want indexed in Google. This is hurting your rankings big time. Easy fixes though. I think that was about it. Let me know what you think.